Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Writer's Mind. I'm your host, CP Valois, and today I want to talk about fear of failure. Now, I don't mean the failure of, will we make a living in this? Will we make any money? Type of thing. That comes later. I mean, it's always a kind of, but that's kind of the later stress. What I'm talking about is when we start writing, it's like, are we good enough? Can we write? Our imaginations, you know, active? Are they legitimate? Are they something other people will share? Pretty much every concern we can think of comes through our minds at some point, at least for me. I'm sure every artist, writer, sculptor, painter, I'm sure we all go through it at some point. In our process that we doubt what we're doing. Are we doing this right? Will my vision work? And that's the hardest part is sitting there like, okay, what do we do? I know for myself, I'm sit there and I'm like, am I doing this too much? Am I having a character, like complain too much or pine too much or do something? It's always little traits. Like, what are they doing this too much? Are they whining too much? Are they being too much of a hero? Do I convey this thought right? Am I conveying this emotion right? And the process, you get the wonder, I get something like the wonder. It's like, am I good enough for the story? Am I doing the story justice? Is this something that, I can finish, I can do? And for me, it's something where it's like, yeah, I can get that if I pay too much attention to those questions, I will start to think, yeah, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. And on one hand, it's not a bad thing per se, because for me, I'm good when I'm told I can't do something or I'm not good enough. It's like, I'll show you. Or, no, I'll try to show, because it doesn't always work out. I wish it was like a Hollywood movie that way. But, it does inspire me more like, okay, you know what? No one thinks I can do this. My whole life, I've kind of overcome all kinds of obstacles like that. From personal health, everything else. I've overcome a lot with that. So I was like, I shouldn't be here. To be honest, I shouldn't have been here years back. But it's like, it's something like, okay, it's a challenge. But then for me, it's not so much a challenge of proving them wrong. It's about proving me wrong. Prove the voices in here wrong. They're telling me, are you good enough? Are you not good enough? Yeah. And then it's like, okay, kind of curious. Am I? And I'll look back at some stuff I wrote years back. And, well, I've evolved since then. I'll read some stuff. I'm like, damn, I wrote that? That's me? I came out of this bed? Really? And I'm like, maybe I can do this. So I keep going. Because really, I have the mentality of, you don't know if you don't try it. It's like, kick down the door, step inside, you won't know till you do it. It's scary. Yeah, it's freaking stressful. There's a thousand of things you'd rather do with your time most of the time when you're doing that. But, yeah, it's my mindset with that. And it's not the easiest thing in the world. And that's where, it's good to have a network of friends, family, other writers, anyone that's supportive of us. Because it's hard to do it, but but even then, people tell us we can do it. It's important. That's great to know. But again, this is just strictly for me. A lot of times excuse me, everyone can tell me, oh, that's great, it's great, oh, it's awesome, it's awesome, it's awesome. I love this bit. I can't wait to read it. And I'm like, really? You can't wait to read this? It's like, it's the insecurities. We always wonder. It's like, are you sure we're going to be good? Like a friend of mine, she's a fellow indie author, and she said she once told me I'm one of the best indie authors she's read. Great, thank you. And part of me is like, really? It's like, okay, I'm not used to the compliments. I get them, but I'm also, I try to stay humble, but at the same time, I'm like, do I deserve this? Am I really doing this good? Are they just saying this because of this or that? And that's the thing we always have to get through. It's our own fear of not being up to what we envision. And we're not in competition with anyone else. I'm not trying to be the next Stephen King, or I'm not trying to be the next, Tom Clancy, John Grisham, whatever. I'm not. I'm trying to be a better me. as a writer. I'm, we're not in competition with each other. It's just about, and that's the biggest thing. I think we see everyone else doing great. We see other book sales, their reviews. Why don't I have that? Why do I only have, like, say, 35 likes in that post? Why do I only have 2 reviews and they've got 50? They even said my book's better. All those little things. And that's where the insecurities keep heaping up. But we're only coming to ourselves. And ourselves is the biggest problem we have, because once we get over this mental issue we have with the insecurities, like can we write this? Can we do it? Are we good enough? Once we get through that, and the rest is cake. And for me, it's always been easier. Sales, whatever, it's like they come, they don't come. Okay, you know what? I wrote what I wrote. Some people like it, some don't. Okay, that's how it goes. But that's the biggest thing. It's like, is getting through it. And for me, it's just to write, just to sit down, just like, you know what? I'm doing this. Come hell or high water, kick the door down, step in, see what happens. Because we'll never know if we are good enough. We'll never know if we can do it if we don't do it. And that's my biggest thing. And for anyone that ever has those doubts, just think of it that way. You won't know until you do it. And that's always my, right now I'm writing a novel, and that's my mindset. Am I doing this right? Am I conveying this right? Am I doing this? I'm getting philosophical thoughts in my head with it. I'm getting everything. I'm like, is this a little too deep for me? But, I won't know until it's completed. People read it and they let me know. But to get to that point, to find out if I am good enough, I've got to finish it. So whatever happens, the fear of failure is always there. It always will be. It never goes away. I've been doing it since 2011. It never goes away. But it's how we deal with it and how we move on. We all have our little tricks. We all have our little ways of doing it. We rely on others. We just plow ahead. We talk ourselves up. However we do it, we find a way. And that's the most important part, is we find a way to overcome that fear, to push through, and to create what we envision. And so, it's like, don't give up. And that's the thing, is like, the worst thing we do is give up. We have the answers inside of us. We just take the next step, push forward, see what happens. It could be something glorious. As always, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Let me know in the comments below, what your tricks are. Do you just push through? Do you have those doubts? Do you just not ignore? Do you ignore them? Do they bother you? Do you have friends support you? Well, let me know in the comments. Let me know how you overcome it, how you deal with it. Love to hear from you. And thank you for being here, and I'll see you all next time. Have a great one.